Yuri Prohaska says something coming step by step. Some hypothesize he'll be taking on Carlos Ulberg next, and Ankalaev people expect will be taking on Pereira in a rematch.
All right, what's next for me? So nothing's too clear. There's a lot of moving parts. Obviously, before the fight, I was thinking, yeah, it's going to be Mozavar, but I think he's fighting. He mentioned him fighting. You're hearing Yair's name getting mentioned a fair bit. Just the date of September has, but that's just probably not the best date. Obviously, I'm having a baby that month, so if we could work around that, that would be better. So we'll just see what's happening. Again, a lot of moving parts. We're planning on having a chat with the boss, Dana and Hunter very soon. So we'll see what's going on.
Daniel Cormier says Ben Askren is in a hospital in Wisconsin. He clarifies that when he said he was at home, he didn't mean he's actually in his home, but back in his home state of Wisconsin. Please keep praying for Ben. I should have been more clear.
Ben Askren, our good friend from Funky and the Champ, is having a hard time. So that night that we did the episode of Funky and the Champ, the last one, Ben was complaining about some issues. He had some infections. He had a really tough time when he went to that convention in Vegas. He was stuck there for a while. I want to report to you guys that he is now back home in Wisconsin. He's with his family, his beautiful wife, Amy, and everybody's just kind of praying that Ben gets better and we can start moving forward with life for Ben. It's so sad, and I don't know how at times in life things like this happen to someone that's so good, because Ben Askren's a good guy. So pray for Amy, guys. Pray for the kids. Ben, we love you, buddy, and we're constantly thinking about him every single day, and I cannot wait for the next Funky and the Champ, because we're going to talk about that and so much more, and we get so much of Ben in the way that we all love Ben, and you guys know how much we love Ben. So pray for Ben. Shoot his wife, Amy Askren, a heart, maybe some prayer in hands on socials, and let her know that Ben has a community of people that love him and care about him, and that we're all thinking about him in this tough time.
Talk about this fight because people are quick to shit on Patchy Mix here. Fighters, commentators, everyone, right? I don't care what anyone says. That was not Patchy Mix out there, bro. There has to be.
Yes.
I think the guy's never going to come out and say he was injured, and I don't want to make excuses when I don't know what happened. But he looked so stiff and not himself.
I think he will say after the win, not now.
Right.
Not now. Now he's going to be quiet. He's going to take his time. He's going to heal up. He's going to get better. He's going to evolve. He's going to see everything that he did wrong. But they heard from a bird that the guy was injured.
If he was injured, he probably shouldn't have taken that fight, because in 15 minutes he killed all his hype. Now he's going to have to win like 3 big fights in a row to regain that hype. Jessica Andrade will be taking on Lupi Godinez in a strawweight contest. UFC 319, August 16 in Chicago, Illinois. Andrade is coming off a loss to Jasmine Jasdavicius, and Lupi Godinez is coming off a victory over Julia Polastri. Andrade has lost 2 in a row. Since winning the championship in 2019 against Rose Namajunas, she has a record of 6 wins and 8 losses. UFC officially confirms Royval versus Van June 28th. The 28th of this month at UFC 317. Credit to Royval for taking this fight. It's rare that a guy who's ranked number 1 is going to take a fight against a guy ranked number 10, but Royval did it. And credit to Van for taking this fight, tough fight on short notice against a really tough guy, Royval, a former title challenger and the number 1 contender in the division. It would be cool if this fight was 5 rounds. They push such a hard pace. It would be entertaining for 25 minutes if it lasted that long, but this would be a 15-minute fight. Recently, Jon Jones, talking about Chael Sonnen in DC, said, Jon Jones whooped both of y'all, but hey, let's team up on a podcast and gossip about his life. Meanwhile, he's out here making your annual salary in a week. Stay busy, boys. DC had a rebuttal to that, saying that he doesn't make more money than him. He did when he fought, but he doesn't right now.
Jon Jones does not like being talked about by 2 of the biggest voices in this game. I'm going to pull the curtain back for you guys. I know what Jon Jones made in Thailand. I was offered to coach this show with Jon Jones. Jon Jones' resume is impeccable. Jon Jones' star power, his ability to sell, matches up with anybody in the business. But guess what? Daniel Cormier's resume matches up with anybody in the business. Daniel Cormier brings eyes like people in the business. He's got me talking in third person. Jon Jones don't make more money than me in a week. Jon Jones makes more money than me when he fights. We over here eating. The biggest paydays you ever had were tied directly to me. We did it together. And I'll be honest with you, I'm talking about you. And I'm talking about you, and I'm getting paid to talk about you. But I don't fight no more, because all I can really do is talk. That's what I do. You fight, or at least you're supposed to fight. You're talking about me, you're talking about Francis, you're talking about Chael, and almost ignoring the right thing. You can then stick it to everybody like you've done on so many different occasions and tell them about it. I can tell you guys on good authority, if I was still fighting today and I was still the heavyweight champion and Tom Aspinall was the #1 contender, I would have already fought him, 1,000%. Knowing how dangerous, it would have done nothing but excite me. I mean, this dude, Jon Jones, still talking. Come.
If Jones doesn't fight Aspinall, maybe Aspinall will end up taking Gon for the undisputed title, and Jones will be stripped. Umar Nurmagomedov will be back around September or October. He's still getting back to 100% after getting hand surgery.
How's Umar doing now? As far as I know, he's doing well. He's grappling. He's using his hand. I don't really know to what extent because I'm not in camp. I'll be with him in a few months.
Is he healed yet?
I believe he's completely almost healed. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. So we should expect something maybe soon? Few months?
You can expect him to fight within 3-4 months, I would think.
Okay.
I would give it enough time.
Hopefully before the end of the year.
No, he'll fight before the end of the year, for sure.
Okay,
For
good.
sure. Unless the injuries prevent us from doing it again. But outside of that,
Yeah,
no injuries. So hopefully we'll be okay.
I don't know if you saw, but Belal Muhammad, after he lost his belt, he said there's a lot of interest in fighting you. And is he in your plan to get back to the world title?
Now here's the thing: is when Belal Muhammad was champion, there was a reason to fight Belal Muhammad, right? He had a title. Let's be honest here. We're not the best of friends, but I don't wish him any bad. But what do you have to offer me? You gonna give me a side deal? You gonna throw me a little extra cash on the side? If he's willing to do that, maybe. But who knows?
Yeah. So the bad blood between you two doesn't give you any.
There was never bad blood. That was never really the case. Like, if you really look at the history of, you look at myself and Colby Covington, that rivalry, but there was a story. There was things that are lined up there. With Belal, no, it's just a guy that was in a division that did well, eventually became champion, and then once he became champion, then you really start to kind of hear his voice a little bit more, and at times it was a little bit annoying, and that was pretty much it. But there's no necessarily bad blood between me and Belal. I wish him well. If he's champion, or if I'm champion, I'm sure he's going to want to fight me. If he's champion, I'm going to want to compete against him for sure.
Since going to LeHeal, my knee pain is 100% gone. And then after completing the peptide treatment, I can run miles now.
I need to make sure I'm healing properly. And I felt that LeHeal was giving me the best options. They know what they're doing. They're looking at me as an individual.
I did the stem cells and the peptides from LeHeal, and it's helped my circulation quite a lot. It's definitely done wonders for my pain.
Any kind of chronic pain that you've been dealing with and want to avoid surgery or steroid injections, those are the patients that we typically see.